Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Oh, I forgot to turn my phone off. Sorry, folks. Don't need that going off while we're trying to do this. All right, there we go. How you doing, JT and Jan? How's everybody doing today? Today is rice. Going to be talking about some rice today. Can everybody hear me? Give me a number 1 if everybody can hear me. All right, thank you very much. We'll give this a few minutes. I know I changed the date. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so I just figured it'd be better to do it today. Plus, it made the wife happy, so we got to keep the wife happy. So we did it today. We'll see how this goes. Give it a few minutes here and let everybody hopefully join in. I tried to send out quite a few messages. Kraylon 103112, how you doing? Thank you for joining in. But today we're going to be covering rice. It's a little, I should have wrote it backwards on the board, but oh well, I do have rice out. So we're going to be discussing rice. I feel that is a, yeah, exactly. If the wife ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Amen. So I told her I'd try to get my my videos and stuff done today and my live stream done today. And this way here tomorrow I can spend with her. I'm going to be cooking dinner and stuff for her tomorrow. I've got some plans and going to hit the store in the morning to pick up the products that I need. And, you got to keep the wife happy. But today we're going to be talking about rice and a lot of different things. Susan Williams, how you doing? Thank you for joining in. Nice to see you. And I hope everybody gets a little something out of this. I believe, I feel very confident that rice is probably one of my very strong points. I've done a lot of research on rice and everything. Susan says, good but cold. You must be up north. It's like 80 some odd degrees. We get spotty rain here and there, and these showers keep moving through, or like downpours. And then the sun pops out. So, all right, we'll give this a few more minutes, hopefully. No, Louisiana Arctic front. Yeah, the weather's been really freaky. I must say, Montana. Hello from the frozen Montana. 19 below. Yes, 19 below actual temperature. Watching you on TV. Decided to come on the computer to comment. Wow. 19 below. Whew. Instant refrigerator. Soggy here. We got about 3 inches of rain. I'm glad it stopped for now. Ooh. Hope you don't get any flooding on that one. Raka, how you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you for joining in. All right, we'll give this a little bit more time. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, Sue. JT, Wilson, Susan. I think we probably should send Montana some a little bit of the warmth. He could use to go up a few degrees at 19 below. I mean, that's just like insane. You probably just got snow like you wouldn't believe. Creek across the street is full, but not flooding. Yeah, it's as I have said in some of my I have my sealing machine, my rules, plastic, and Lord knows lots of rice and beans to get sealed. Ah, well, maybe this video is gonna be right up your alley. Arctic and Friday. Yeah, we're not getting no Arctic front. It's all staying north of us. But back what I was saying, I am a UPS driver. I've said that on some of my videos. We've had this is one of a very busy week for us. It's Valentine's Day, right? I mean tomorrow. 2 days in a row, Thursday and Friday. The freezing rain and freezing temperatures in Louisville, Kentucky. That's our main air hub. They have been the the planes. They can't get them. They can't keep them de-iced long enough to get them off the ground. So we haven't had air for 2 days. They had guys working today. Luckily, I'm high enough on the seniority list where I wasn't working, and I'm sure Monday and Tuesday are going to be a bear. And they're supposed to get more bad weather. They're under in that area of Louisville, Kentucky, Indiana. They're supposed to get another storm with snow and freezing rain. So I mean, this is just unheard of. All right, we'll give this another. Let's give it another minute here and see if some more people jump in, and I'm going to get going on some rice, and hopefully, probably a lot of people I figure are probably going to catch the replay on this one. It's a holiday weekend. I mean, it is what it is. But I wanted to get this video out. We do love our cold. My Alaskan Malamutes and I went for a 3-hour walk this morning, have gear good to 80 below, so I was warm. That's the thing. If you live where it gets cold, when I lived in Vermont, where, we get really cold and everything else, if you have the gear and you can dress for it, then it's not so bad. I mean, it's cold, yes, but you get used to it. Yep, JT, yep, I got the air conditioner running, ceiling fans going. I do agree. So, okay, well, so we're going to get going a little bit here, and then I'll jump back into the chat here in a second. All right. So let's just talk a little bit about rice. Rice, as we know, is probably one of the cheapest commodities that you all can take and purchase and probably get the most bang for your buck. Rice is probably the number one prep in my book. Reason being is because rice can be used in so many different ways, so many different dishes. It's more than say your dried beans. It's the main staple of any type of meal that you need to make for an emergency or survival situation. And when you're doing your rice, there are so many types of different ways that you can do your rice. Now, one thing you have to remember, a pound of rice equals out to almost 10.5 servings, roughly, give or take, okay? So if you had, let's just say, a 50-pound bag of rice, okay, that would equal out to roughly, calculations real quick, 252 servings of rice. Now, I have talked about in several of my videos why I don't store rice in 50-pound or, however much you can get into a 5-gallon bucket, which is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 25, maybe 30 pounds. It just depends on, how much you're going to willing to fill it full, and you got to be able to get the lid on. But you don't just put it in a bucket. You have to get the 5-gallon Mylar bags, and you want to make sure that they're a decent thickness. A 4 mil or 5 mil. Yes, it's going to cost you money, but if you're going to really want to put away a whole bucket full of rice for a rainy day 25, 30 years from now, that's the way you want to do it. Okay, you want to make sure that it is sealed and everything else inside of a Mylar bag with oxygen absorbers. Now you have to break that down. I would want to put at least, because you can get different size oxygen absorbers, but I would put at least 1,000 to 2,000 in my bucket if I was going to store that amount of rice, because that is a large area in order to make sure that you keep the oxygen and the air out of it. All right. And then you want to seal it and don't open it until you have to use it. Now, I've done several different videos on rice, and all those videos have done very well. Actually, the first video that I did on rice is my #1 video, and I think it's pushing almost 13,000 views, which is really good for me as a small channel to have at least, I have at least 4 or 5 videos that are all over 1,000 views, which is really good for a small channel like me, you know. But when you look at rice and you take and you want to can your rice, so you can put it into your canning jars, all right? Only use white rice, okay? The reason being is, okay, yellow rice is one of my favorites, all right? But I don't store it for long term because it's not going to last long term because of all the different ingredients and the oils and everything that's in there. It's just not going to last. So you take your yellow rice that you buy in these little packets, okay? All right. Now this is good until October of 2022, all right? But for long-term food storage, that isn't really going to cut it, folks. I mean, because of everything that's in here and the oils and everything that's in the rice, even your basmati and all those different types of rices, they all have different types of oils and everything in them. And they do not store long-term really well. You want to stick to your basic white rice. Now you can do long grain white rice or just your regular white rice, whichever one you really prefer. Now, when you are storing them, we're going to start off with your canning jars. All right. Now, some of my canning jars I did do a video on. Okay. Now, this one here, what I did is I filled it full. All right. And I vacuum sealed it. Okay. And there's nothing in here but a bay leaf. All right. Now, I did them in different ways, and somewhere down the road, when I go to open these, and we'll see how they all turn out. So then I took, because a lot of people asked if you needed to do oxygen absorbers, and I really feel that you don't, but if you feel more comfortable, it doesn't hurt. If you have extra ones, if you have extra oxygen absorbers and you want to can and vacuum seal these suckers in here, throw an oxygen absorber or 2 in there if you wish. If it makes you feel comfortable and you have someplace, to store these things in a cool, dry place, I would suggest dark would also be a good one since these are subject to light. All right. Whereas in your Mylar bags aren't, because light is another one of those things that really can influence your food when you're sitting here and you're really talking about different types of things. So in this jar, I did the oxygen absorbers, vacuum sealed it with a bay leaf. So we're like protected all the way around. Now you're asking why a bay leaf? A bay leaf helps deter bugs. They don't like the smell. They don't like anything else. So if you're going to go use this, all you have to do is make sure, obviously, you pull out the bay leaf and the oxygen absorbers, because once you open this, they're no longer going to be good. All right. And then you still have your rice just like this. Now, when you do buy your rice, all right, a lot of people do suggest that you freeze your rice. You want to at least freeze it for 24 hours. All right. Now, the way I do mine is I do it a little differently. I freeze mine for 24. Then I take it out and I set it on the counter for 24 hours and I let it warm back up to room temperature. Then I take and just freeze it again, just to be on the safe side for another 24. Then I pull it out, put it back on the counter, and I leave it until it is room temperature. And then I take and decide which way that I want to make sure that I'm going to figure out how I want to store. Mylar bags if I want to vacuum seal them, if I want to put them in jars or anything else. Now, the one thing you have to really remember is mold and bugs are your two biggest enemies. Okay. So when you're talking about mold, what you really want to look for is organic material. Okay. The organic material, as we're talking right now, will be your rice. Okay. The rice is the food product, which is the organic material. All right. So anytime you're dealing with mold, it starts with the organic material, which is your food product that you're trying to store. Doesn't matter if it's rice, beans, anything else. Okay. The next is the temperature. All right. The warmer the temperature, the more likely are that you could get mold and things growing inside of your food that you are putting up. That's why we all say that you want to store them in a cool, dry place. Moisture is another big thing that you have to be very aware of. So, say you have a basement and you want to store your products and stuff down there. If it's a damp basement, I'll spit it out in a second, it may not be a very good idea. But if you can seal it up and say inside of a bucket, and store it off the ground on a shelf or something like that, where it's not setting where the moisture could be, that would be a definite bonus. And lastly is oxygen. Okay, now you want to make sure you get as much oxygen as you can out of your rice when you're storing it. All right. That's why I put some oxygen absorbers in some of these, and some of them I didn't, but I vacuum sealed. I vacuum sealed these. I did not get out my Mylar bag ones because those were buried in a bucket that I have. I didn't feel like digging it all the way out. Sorry, folks. But I do use those, and I've showed in a video how I use an iron. I don't use a vacuum sealer. Save yourself the money. An iron works great. It's very easy to do, folks. You can go back and watch my rice videos, and I show you exactly how to do it with the iron, and you save yourself, some money. Now, let's talk about what you need. All right. So once you do this, all these came out of here. So in this one bucket, I have 10 3-cup packs and 5 1 cup. All right. Now, you can get you a bucket. It doesn't have to be a food grade bucket when you're taking and you're putting everything inside of either a Mylar bag or a vacuum sealed bag. Or better yet, you could take your canning jars and slide them down in there and then put your rice and stuff on the top. And then you need a handy dandy little lid puller. Okay, so the bucket cost me $4.99 and the lid puller cost me $1.99. All right, so that's just basic storage. Now, your mason jars and stuff, yes, those are going to cost you money. And sometimes in some places, they are very difficult to find. But we all have to realize that, it is what it is. And if you really want something, you can search it out and you can find different things in different areas. You can search Amazon. You can look on Walmart.com, Target.com. There's a lot of different sites. You just have to do a little bit of research and go on and see what you can find. Now, when you're doing your vacuum sealing, you need a vacuum sealer. All right. Now, I did a video on vacuum sealing, and I posted the vacuum sealer that I bought that has the attachments and everything so I can vacuum seal my jars. Vacuum seal bags, you can buy bags dirt cheap on Amazon. And Mylar bags, I buy all mine off Amazon. I found that they had the best prices. So I go right on Amazon. I go on there and I figure out, okay, what size of bags do I want? Because I do a lot of different things. I do rice and beans and different products, and I do them in different size bags, which require different size oxygen absorbers. So there's a lot of homework that's involved that you really have to pay close attention to when you're really talking about doing a lot of these products. And today, we're just talking about rice, but rice is the main staple that can keep you alive in any type of emergency type situation or, grid down, anything. Okay. anything. It just, there's just no other, you can add anything to it. Your canned chicken, your canned tuna, your canned meats. You can make it as a side dish. Your canned vegetables, anything that you can in here. If it was, say, spaghetti sauce, whatever, you can make something very tasteful with rice in an emergency type situation. I mean, it's just, um, sometimes you have to think out of the box. And I'm really starting to think about start doing a lot of different videos on how to cook with, say, your preps, and give people ideas. I think if people had more ideas, if people had, they realize, wow, I can put this with that and this, they would be a little bit more acceptable to the fact of prepping, because, a lot of people don't realize, okay, well, if I have this, this, and this, and this, well, how do I use that in an emergency situation with no power, no way to cook, no nothing, and everything else? So, I mean, it's just a great prep is rice. I truly believe that rice is probably one of your number one preps besides water. You have to have water in order to survive, because you can live longer without food than you can water. So water is the number one prep. Yes, but there's different ways you can get around that with a life straw, a Sawyer Mini. You can sanitize, boil, and clean your water and everything else. And being that there's water everywhere. I mean, if you had to, you could melt snow and get water. You're not going to get that much, but you're going to have to melt a lot of snow to get your water, you know? So that's where we stand with the rice. Now I'm going to go over here and look at the comments and see what's going on. JT, love the shirt. Oh, thank you. I wore something different today rather than Ron John's. I'm just wondering if anybody would actually notice, because I always wear my Ron John shirts and my hat. So today I wore something different. Bear Jew, hey, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. So let me scroll back up through. See who's all here. Susan Williams. Montana Grizzly. So it's safe to put an oxygen absorber with white rice. Yes, it is. As you can do it however you want to do it. If it makes you feel better and you feel safe, yes, you can. Some of these packs actually have an oxygen absorber in it, because I did a video and I showed, because it's all in how you feel. If it makes you feel all comfy and warm inside that you have one in there, yes, you can. All right. I put them in here. In your Mylar bags, you have to put them in there, period, because you have to draw that oxygen out, and there's no way to do that without an oxygen absorber in your Mylar bag. So you try to get out as much air as you can before you seal it. Make sure that the oxygen absorber is inside first. But once you seal it and you get as much air out of that bag as you possibly can and then seal it, then the oxygen absorber takes it over. And what happens is, if you did it properly, I should have got one out. It will turn that thing into like a solid block, like a concrete block. Okay. It will be really, really hard. And I mean, you could use it as a self-defense weapon if you had to. Trust me, you hit somebody with it, they're going to know it. All right, let me keep scrolling up here. Let me get back in the chat. All right. Okay, I've seen that. Let's put the glasses back on. Sorry, folks. Raka says it was 8 degrees wind chill now, plus a warning for more. Oof. Rain, thunder, 30 seconds later, clear, sunny. Weird, yeah. The weather's been so really. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, please, everybody, hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up. Um, I do appreciate that. Any little help I can get. I'm sitting right at 1,500 subscribers right now. Um, I do have some info in a few minutes about the upcoming giveaway. So make sure you all stick around. That'll be towards the end of the video. It was only last for 10 years. Might be giving some to the birds. Oh, yeah. I think we've all done that. I mean, I've put away a few things, and then I realized once I did the research and everything, well, that's not going to last, and ended up having to get rid of it. Um, I mean, I think everybody, you go through your own little. It's a learning curve. For a lot of people, this is a huge learning curve. I mean, I don't know everything about everything. I mean, I try to do research and make sure that I bring you all what information I do find and the correct information. Rice, I'm very comfortable with because I've done some extensive research on rice, and I'm very comfortable talking about rice. And I just sometimes I wish that some of the other rices would last a little bit longer than the white rice, but hey, it is what it is. I watched parboiled rice being canned in jars. Homestead Heart YouTube. Oh, that would be pretty interesting. Oh, I may have to check that out. I was just about to say that. She really has a good channel. Yes. I put bay leaves on my cover boards, something my elders did. Yes, because bay leaves, I mean, they help deter all kinds of bugs, not just, bugs in rice or, flour and stuff like that. If you live in like down here in Florida, a very warm climate, you have all kinds of bugs. I mean, we've got more bugs than you can shake a stick at. So you really have to be on the defensive side and, use bay leaves and that type of stuff. You could throw them, you can put them in your sugar. You can throw one in your flour. You just got to make sure you don't grab it and use it in whatever you're making. So white rice can store for 30 years and parboiled only 10. So what is better? Well, I would go with 30 years. I mean, I'm guessing if it was parboiled, maybe it's almost like it's ready to go, ready to eat almost. Maybe you have to kind of heat it up a little. I don't know if that would be something I would do. I'll go with, because I have plenty of ways to cook. If I don't have electricity or anything else, I have several different ways that I can cook and boil water and make rice. So I'm going to go with the longer of the two for my money. I mean, that's just how I look at it. However far my money will stretch, that's the route I'm going to go. Because you got to figure, a lot of people, if it's very difficult for them to try to get prepping and everything else, so every dollar that they spend towards doing their prepping is a dollar that they didn't spend on something else. Now, we don't know what that could be, but so you want to make sure that it's going to last the longest. Put bay leaves and flour and cornmeal. Yep, bay leaves by the pound. That's probably a good idea because they do get expensive when you buy them in the little jars. If you can find them in Walmart, sometimes they have them, and they're not too bad. But lately, because of everything else, it's like you're lucky to find your regular stuff that you're looking for. I was told my country agricultural extension not to use auctions over things such as cookies. I think when you start using your auction absorbers, you really have to really do your research, Montana, because there's some things that you want the air out, and there's other things that well, that aren't going to last you for 30 years. Um, Vacuum sealing might, I mean, if you wanted to try vacuum sealing maybe cookies, that might actually get you somewhere. I mean, it's worth a shot. Take a handful of cookies and vacuum seal them. Now, when you do it, what I found was if you're doing stuff that breaks, like crackers and stuff like that, you have to make sure that you can stop your vacuum sealer. So once it starts to suck most of all the air out, because it'll just keep going and it'll just crush the crackers. Trust me, I learned my lesson on that one. So mine, once it gets to a certain point, you just hit seal, it stops the vacuum and it seals the bag. So your stuff, your crackers and stuff are still a cracker, not crumbs. And you have most of, probably 98% of the air out of there. It's something you could try. Yeah, about a year. That sounds, yeah. There's just some things that unfortunately aren't meant for us to store for very long time. If you've noticed that, the goody stuff that we all really enjoy, like the cookies and any of that kind of stuff, it's very hard to try to keep that for 30 years. You know. Yeah, I would say if that kind of stuff starts going bad, botulism is something that you really want to stay away from. Um, I talk about uh, canned goods. All right, same thing. It's the same principle. I mean, if the canned good looks good, it's a three-step process. We all have to take the leap of faith at one point, but the way I look at canned goods is, if you look at it, the can looks really good, no rust, it's not bulging. Okay, we got to go to the next step. We have to open the can. Once you open the can and then you smell it, okay, if it still smells like it's supposed to smell, well, you got to go to the third step, which a lot of people are just like, I don't know about, and you have to take a taste. A leap of faith, and you take a taste and you see if it's good. Because the last thing you want, as I talk about, is getting something like botulism, and that would not be a very good thing in an emergency or survival situation. I even add oxygen absorbers to meat that I was freezing in the freezer. No, I never thought about doing that. I vacuum seal all my meats. I've never had a problem, but huh, maybe I'll have to do an experiment and try one. The recipe say to don't can milk or butter. I've done both for years with no problems. Yeah, I have powdered milk, and then I have um, the butter that I bought that is from New Zealand, Australia, somewhere over there, and that is good for 10 or 15 years, I think it is. And I actually opened a can and tasted it, and it wasn't. I gotta say, it wasn't bad. So, whoa! I just jumped big time. Just trying to catch up in the. Let's see if we can leave 34.98.97 for two each quart containers. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Caroline, with doing it in smaller increments. Like your 1 cup would be something really good to barter with if you're looking to barter for something else. So you always want to make sure you have that in the back of your mind in a case of an emergency, survival situation. You don't want to be. That's the reason why that I don't do like 5 gallon buckets full. I break it down. Maybe eventually I may do one bucket that'll be for the very end times, and there ain't much left to eat but rice. I haven't had a problem with my rice puncturing the bags yet. Um, I may have to give that a try. That might be a good thing. I could see where it would. I mean, it could really get nasty pretty quick. Ghee is perfect for rice. Done that with flour before learning to oven can it. Yeah, if you know how to do a lot of canning, see, I'm not big on canning. It's not that I don't want to, it's just I don't know a lot about it. I haven't had the time to really get involved. So, I mean, I watch a lot of AP's videos. Like he just did one a week or so ago where he did the meat and stuff. And I mean, it doesn't look like it's that difficult or anything else. It's just I haven't had a lot of time to really dive into something like that. I mean, I like to know what I'm doing. It's great for pasta, rice and butter in the freezer. Yeah, I store all my butter in the freezer. I don't store my rice in there. I store it in my buckets. Yeah, the limited budget, I think that's really going to start affecting a lot of people. With the prices going up and stuff, I just did a video on that Friday. Price increases are just insane. And you really want to be doing your homework, folks, and making sure that you're paying attention. Any sales, any buy one get ones, anything like that, anywhere you can save money, you definitely have to do it nowadays. Jefferson Martial Arts. Hey, it's good to see you. Weebles, yummy protein. Well, I mean that's one way you could look at it. I mean, um, once you cook them, I mean, they do eat bugs all over the place. So I mean, what's the difference? You throw a little soy sauce on it, it's going to be delicious, right? I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of rice in my jars. I have 6 total. Um, so I basically really did it for demonstration purposes for you all folks because I had a lot of questions on if you could do it that way. So that's why I took 6 jars and I did the rice and I did it in 3 different ways. Like I said before, one's just plain, nothing in it. One, they are all vacuum sealed. That's the only thing that is the same on each one. They're all vacuum sealed. Then one has just bay leaves, and then the last one has the oxygen absorber bay leaves, and then it was vacuum sealed. But I prefer to store mine in Marlar and vacuum sealed bags. How you doing, Susie? Nice to see you. Thank you for stopping in today. I appreciate it. Just protein. Since Blue Diamonds, nice to see you too. Thank you for stopping in. I'm very happy that you stopped by today. Food Savers, what they use. Yeah, that's what mine is. Um, I have a Food Saver. Does have the attachment so I can do jars and things of that nature. Lots of sweet condensed milk. It's good for so many things. Yes, I do have that also, and it does last for quite a while. I will can beans, chili, spaghetti sauce. I tried to make. When able, I try to can beans, chili, spaghetti sauce. Yes, I mean, a lot of people, even my daughter, I mean, she does a lot of canning. She does a lot of jams and jellies and that type of stuff, which is really great. I mean, usually I get a nice little dad care package at Christmas time and stuff. Um, but I mean, she makes some really, really great jams and jellies. And I told her she should really start looking into, doing more canning, which I think she really wants to start getting into, um, and maybe start trying to do their own vegetables and those type of things. She's pretty smart with all that kind of stuff. So 16 quart Presto canner and can 7 quarts at 2 pounds per jar. Water bath, which is water pressure canning, is it much harder? Oven dry all my grains in mason jars and my rice vacuum sealed bags and jars. Does anyone use DE in their rice storage? Now I've see where you can use diatomaceous earth. It won't hurt you. I have read online um, when I was doing a lot of studying on rice, where some people they do put a little bit in there, and um, from what I have found, now I haven't done it personally, but what I have found from all the research and the reading that I did, for one, it doesn't make you sick, and for two, you will never have any bugs. Never. It it just it's a done deal. But I would suggest to everybody, if you're really thinking about doing that, is really get online and do your research and make sure that you're putting in the proper amount, not too much, and make sure that you really know what you're doing when you start using the diatomaceous earth in your rice or dry goods. Yes, but I will be moving. We get boxed milk at the Dollar Tree. Sometimes you can find some good deals in there. Not all the time do they have everything you're looking for. Um, but yes, and powdered milk. Yep, I have. I do have my powdered milk and stuff, and I do vacuum seal those to keep the air and stuff out and everything else. So this way here, it lasts a lot longer. And I do put an oxygen absorber in there. I do have one bag that I did in a Marlar bag. I put 4 packs of the powdered milk in there with oxygen absorbers, took all the air out, and that is stored in one of my buckets. Um, just to see, eventually maybe one day I'll be able to do a test between the two because I did them at the same time. So um, that'll be an interesting test to see in the years to come. I use bay leaves instead of D. Yep, that's what I use. I use bay leaves. Um, but I use it for my dogs all the time. But when it's in the rice, you really have to rinse before use. Also, only human grade DE. Yep, this is true. You would have to rinse it before you do anything with it. If you want to cook it or something like that. Um, I just tend to stay away from it. I like using the bay leaves. I haven't had any problem. A lot of my jars have been canned for a while now. Um, some of my vacuum seal Marlar bags and those type of things have been done for 2, 3 years. So I stick with what I know. But if you know how to do it and you follow the proper procedures, yes, you can use the DE. Our Dollar Tree doesn't carry box milk. Yes, I mean it's like I said, it's hit or miss with the Dollar Trees. Long distance in 3 weeks. Won't be doing much in storage things until after we get settled. I wonder if Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and the dollar store has bay leaves as a spice or herb. I don't know about that. I don't know how they exactly label it. Asked if they could order for you. I think they come 12 per box. There's an idea. I mean, it can't hurt to ask. I mean, all they can tell you is no. I mean, you can special order stuff at like Publix, some places like that. I don't see why the Dollar Tree maybe couldn't. But you have nothing to lose, you know? has soy and almond milk. Get jelly, juices. Congratulations on the move. To try to move all my stuff laugh out loud. Yeah, I would too. Yeah, that would be a large yard sale, moving sale. Um, buy what I need when I get there. That's right. You can order it online, have it delivered right to the store for free. Oh, there you go. So we answered that question. So it sounds like you can order it right online and just have it delivered right to the store for free. Kind of like, yes, it's the last time that we moved, um, which was almost a year ago. Wasn't a very far move. It was about a 20-minute, 30-minute from where we used to live, but I had to move all the preps and all that kind of stuff. Wow, did that really just bit the big one, let me tell you what. And there's just no easy way to move lots of canned goods and heavy stuff, you know. I mean, you can only put so much in a box because it's going to break. I have some milk crates. So I use milk crates. Um, but when you're moving that kind of stuff, it just it's very, very difficult to do. Very difficult. I hate to move. However, I had won the lottery when it was at $1 billion. I would have bought a 2,000-acre ranch and set everything up in a perfect homestead. Yeah, that would be really nice, wouldn't it? And you could have somebody move your stuff. You don't realize how much you have until you start packing. Laugh out loud. We are moving almost 1,000 miles. Wow, yeah, it's a big move. I remember we moved from Vermont to Florida, and we got rid of a lot of stuff, but we still filled a 24-foot rider truck that I drove down here. Um, I don't envy you right now. I mean, we did before we moved here. What we did was if we found stuff that was out in the garage, still in totes and boxes and everything else, and we hadn't used it in, well, we've been down here for what, 8 years. We haven't used it in 8 years. I took it to the Goodwill and donated it. Just got rid of it. But when if I haven't used it, I didn't feel like moving it again. You're moving to a 100-acre dairy farm. Oh, wow. Congratulations. That should be nice. Really nice. Yep. JT, I agree. We all can dream. So when you get all settled, you should really start documenting everything. And that would be that'd be pretty cool, if you could start doing things, gardening. I mean, there's a lot of niches out there in that type of homestead setting. You could really go far with that. That's one of the main reasons why I've been thinking about going back north, but it is what it is. Um, I have to wait till I retire first. So William neighbors are Amish. There you go. I mean, my uncle lived next to some Amish people up in northern Indiana, and I tell you what, those people were incredible. They were always there if something went wrong. Um, always pay for our moves. The next one is on us. We need to get rid of a lot of stuff. Yep. What kind of shelves does everyone use? Um, I use a lot of different types of shelves. I just did a video on shelving and that kind of stuff. Um, so Krylon, you want to go back a few videos of mine. I did do a video, and it was I showed a bunch of different shelves. Um, it's all on what you want to spend, but it depends on what you're going to put on it. So make sure that you're getting something that's going to support the weight you're going to put on it, because they're all, they should have a weight rated shelving. So it should tell you exactly how much that one shelf will hold. 200 pounds, 300 pounds. I mean, if you want to spend money, they got them out there. They'll support 1,000 pounds. So it's on how much money you want to spend. Mostly wire racks. Yep, I do have a few wire racks. I have some really solid plastic ones. It's an organic farm. Susan, is it already established? Is it already up and running and you're buying the farm and taking it over? That sounds very interesting. So it looks like I'm all caught up in the chat here. So let's talk a little bit about what's coming up next. Coming up next on Wednesday, I finally received the products that I was looking for my giveaway. I received them this week. So I did a video today, and today's video that I did, that's going to be released on Wednesday morning, is on the Great Dust Bowl and will history repeat itself? It's another little history lesson. It seemed to be a lot of people really liked when I did the Great Depression one. So I'm doing one because it's right within that same era where everything was just chaos for so many years between the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl, World War II. Everything kind of just went together. So if you all want to have a chance to win on the next giveaway, you have to watch that video, The Great Dust Bowl. It'll be out on Wednesday morning, and there is instructions in there on exactly how you can enter to win. I'm not going to tell you today what you're going to win. I want you all to go on there and see. I think it's going to be a great thing for a lot of people. I mean, it's something that everybody could use. It's something that will last you for 25 years or longer. And it's something that you can take with you. You can store it in your emergency backpack, your go bag, whatever you may need. You have something to have that's going to last you for a very, very long time. And I was hoping to have this last week for my live, but I didn't receive the product yet. And now that I do have the product, it will be on my coming video on Wednesday on the Great Dust Bowl. So with it being the holiday weekend, and let me just jump back in here and see if there's any other questions. There's a box store in the Midwest, 800 pounds per shelf. It was $40 on sale. Wow, that is a good deal. You should have bought 2 of those suckers. Down here in Florida, that sucker right there probably would have cost you about $200 at least. Starting orchard, planting gardens, pecan trees, walnut trees. Wow, that's going to be really interesting. That should be really, really nice. All right, folks. So we're almost up to about an hour here. Don't forget to watch the video on Wednesday, the Great Dust Bowl. It'll get you all the information you need to enter to win my next giveaway. There will be a surprise edition that will be sent along with what you win. And I will let you all know what that is when I announce the winner. And I also want to just say happy Valentine's Day to everyone that's out there. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so we did it live today. And Um, I hope everybody has a great day. I hope everybody keeps prepping. Stay safe. Make sure that you really are paying attention. If you have anybody out there that may have questions or anything or about rice, send them over to my channel. Share the video, this video, or you could send them over. I have a whole playlist on just rice. So it answers just about any questions that people could really have. And if they have questions, they can leave comments. I do my best to answer comments. With work, it's pretty tough sometimes. Like this morning, I sat down at 5 this morning with my coffee and answered, and you know, a lot of comments and everything else for the week. So sometimes that's what I have to do. Sometimes I can get to them during the week. I do my best to get to all of them, at least acknowledge that give them a like, that I did read the comment and I saw it. But I do appreciate everything that everybody's done for this channel, and we're growing. And I do have big plans for, I'm putting it all together right now, and I'll have to try to figure out when I can get this out there so everybody can see it for my 2,000 subscriber video. That one there was going to be a very, very nice giveaway prize for someone. So everybody, you just stay safe. Happy Valentine's Day, wherever you may be. Hopefully you're staying warm or you're staying cool, depending on where you're at. And till next week, I will catch all of you on the flip side. Thanks again.